And we are back with another episode of Straight Out the Lou. As always, I'm Dylan, joined by Luke and Chris. Today, we have a little unpacking of the Kyrie Irving saga that has gone down over the last few days between the Celtics and the Nets. Last night, TD Garden, water bottle thrown at Kyrie, aggravated assault, battery. We will unpack. Along with that, we will be talking about the NBA playoffs, as well as the NHL playoffs, as the Bruins are taking on the Islanders in the second round of the Stanley Cup Playoffs. All right, so Kyrie Irving had a water bottle thrown at him, very malicious act, after he stepped
Could have died.
on the leprechaun. I mean, it's mania. It's mayhem. I don't know what's going on. It's crazy. You guys, unpack.
Sam's here to break it down. He was there.
Yeah, I was in attendance at this game last night, packed house at the Garden, electric for about a half. The Celtics, they're a separate story. They're a complete and utter disgrace, even though it was a good win in Game 3. And, I'm sure they'll win this series in 7, but last night was a complete disgrace, a joke. And the Kyrie Irving thing. So, Game 3, they were chanting at him and everything, and he sucked in Game 3. Maybe the pressure was a little too much for him. Game 4, he was very good. He was very good last night. Harden and Durant were also very good. The Nets just shot the ball really well as a team. They played great. Kyrie goes over, steps in the leprechaun. I don't have any problem with that.
Wiped his shoe on it.
The Celtics fans were chanting at him for both games. He can do – I don't care. He's dropped 39 points, whatever. He can do whatever he wants. The fan throws the water bottle at him, misses him. First of all, aggravated assault with a dangerous weapon might be the most egregious charge I've ever seen. That is a complete and utter joke. Should he have thrown the bottle? No, probably not. But that is a complete joke that he was charged with that. That's not going to stand. And then Kyrie after the game I probably shouldn't get into what he said after the game because I'm going to get a little too worked up about it. But it was a joke what he said after the game. And I think Jaylen Brown articulated that well. He was saying the other day that he didn't like the way that Kyrie brought up the racism in Boston as part of the playoffs. And I think I agree with that. I think Boston has a lot to work on for sure. But Kyrie, he did it again last night. He was, talking about how it was like subtle racism that the guy threw the bottle at him. And I'm sorry, I don't buy that. And I think it's something that you just can't bring up like that. And Jaylen Brown said the same thing. Jaylen Brown, very well-spoken, very smart guy, has been a huge activist in the community. And he said the same thing. It's a bad time to bring something up like that and just kind of lump that in with all the other terrible things that people go through all the time. Because that is not nearly on the same level.
Yeah, I mean, Luke and I were talking about this last night as all this was going down, and it seems that Kyrie just forgot the context of his situation completely. It seems that he forgot he promised to resign, that he caused locker room issues and, tore the franchise apart in a sense. And then now he's back in the Garden for the first time with fans, and he stomps on the logo, and then this happens, and then he starts blaming it on these other trends that people have been pointing out in society that seem to be completely unrelated to his situation. Yet, I don't know, he just wants to blame it on that and not take the blame for what he's actually done to Boston and to the Celtics. And I think it's pretty childish, first of all, and ignorant. I mean, this guy is the king of ignorance. I mean, the world's flat, blah, blah, blah. You can't trust anything. I mean, it's sad to see. It's tough to watch. And like Jaylen Brown said, it's a lot of stuff that people don't really need to be thinking about right now. We're just coming out of COVID. It's the NBA playoffs. Like, it seems like a lot of convoluted stuff going on at the moment.
Yeah, so maybe some of the listeners don't know. Maybe they do, but I've been a huge Kyrie stan for a long time here. I've been a big Kyrie Irving fan. This guy acts like a teenage girl. Like, is he on his period right now? Like, what is wrong with this guy? It's a bold statement for him to come out and say, I want to keep it strictly basketball, and then disrespect the whole city by just, like, stomping on something that means something to people. And as Chris alluded to earlier, no, the bottle should not have been thrown at him. That should not have happened. The booing was probably enough. It probably sent the message. But this guy is so delusional, thinks the flat earth somehow revolves around him. I don't even know if he thinks it revolves. But, like, this guy, I don't think he understands that he was on the Celtics, like, 2 years ago. And I don't think fans understand that either. I've been looking at Twitter comments all day. I don't think fans seem to understand that what he did to the city of Boston was wrong. He told them he was going to resign. He made a promise. Usually if you don't follow through on promises, people are going to be upset. And in a city like Boston, where the fans are the most passionate, they might not be the best, but the most passionate fans, I would say, out there, you're going to get backlash. And I don't get it, man. I mean, it's not great that he got a bottle thrown at him, but he's trying to bring in a whole other movement into something that I really can't see happening. Like, I really don't think that was the reason.
Well, I mean, I understand you look at Trae Young, you look at Russell Westbrook, fans have been somewhat seemingly more disrespectful since the playoffs have started than they have been in the past. I mean, whether that be just, people being let out of COVID lockdowns now and just being all riled up, not really knowing how to handle themselves or whatever it may be, he is definitely
he's acting
pointing
like
to a trend, though. He's pointing to a trend that you can't deny, though. I mean, there is some unacceptable behavior going on.
Boston is definitely known to be a racist sports city. There's been some incidences before, Adam Jones recently mainly. But, it's just unbelievable to hear from, listening to this guy talk. It's like, shut up, man. We know you were on the Celtics. You promised them something. The people don't like you here. Don't rile them up anymore by doing some stupid thing like what he did at the end of the game. Just keep it strictly basketball, like he said. I don't think rubbing the court and firing up the crowd going into Game 3 was strictly basketball, but I might be blind, so I don't know. I'm sick of him right now.
Just a lot of contradictions, a lot of misguided thought and that sort of thing. I don't know. It's weird.
Before we move on to anything else, I'd like to just get a quick word on something about the Celtics in this series.
They're a good team.
I actually think they've competed in these games. I'm not gonna rag on their effort or anything. I think they could have won Game 1 if Tatum had shown up in the second half, but that's a separate story. At least he plays. Let me tell you about this guy here, who's getting paid God knows how much money. $30 million a year.
Let me take a guess. What's his name? Kabum?
Yes,
Kabum?
actually, Kemba Walker. So he goes into Game 3. He plays with his knee bruise and sucks. They win the game, whatever. He's going to come into Game 4. Maybe he'll bounce back. Nope. He just doesn't play at all. He sits on the bench, smiling, talking to Durant all game. That is a complete and utter disgrace. He needs to be cut from the team. That is terrible. Another guy.
He didn't go film his movie, though.
At least he didn't film his movie.
He didn't film his movie.
Yes, at least he was at the game. Another guy, the Time Lord. Once again, on the injury report. He loves the injury report. I've never seen two people or two things love each other as much as the Time Lord and the injury report.
I have Kasha and Langford in Boston.
Kasha, yes. He comes into the Game 3, somehow hurts his ankle. Nobody even knows what play it was on or when it happened, and then all of a sudden he's out, and he's doubtful for tomorrow too. I'm sure they're going to play awesome tomorrow. I can't wait for that.
Well, listen, the main problem with the Celtics is their effort's been there. I agree with you on the effort. They're just not talented, and it's so easy because they switch everything. And it's just like Grant Williams. They just switch. The Nets just switch Grant Williams onto one of the three guys every time. It's just easy.
Yeah, easy. And that's another thing. The worst part about the Time Lord being out, they switch everything. That's a joke. They don't know how to play any other defense because they've never done that. But whatever.
They're definitely getting out-talented. But Williams.
Yeah, but the Time Lord being out, that means Grant Williams has to play. because they don't have anybody else unless they're going to put in Cornet or something. Yeah. Grant Williams, excellent player, excellent pick by Danny. I would like to point out, I was chanting for the firing of Danny Ainge last night. Nobody joined in on the chant. I couldn't believe it, but it was there. I was heard from the balcony last night, so I just wanted to put that out there.
Good work.
It's a great showing for Straight Out the Lou. So in the Western Conference, there's a lot more going on than the Eastern Conference, I'd say, at the moment. I mean, you have a sweep with the Sixers, Wizards. You have the Bucks, Heat, and then, Nets, Celtics. So all the big series in the East are all blowouts.
Hawks are cruising.
Hawks seem to be cruising. But then you look at the West, right? So now the Clippers they're split, right, with Dallas now. You have the Suns and Lakers, they're split. I think LeBron might not make it out of the first round of the playoffs. No way Disney for Game 5.
No way Disney tomorrow. And Casey Pluto did not play in Game 4 either. He could be questionable. So my whole thing is, now that we're not throwing out any more random teams, we're talking about playoff teams and established really good teams as Renfro hits one down the line here. The Suns, can we roll back? Let's go back to December, gentlemen, when we were throwing out random teams. The Phoenix Suns are coming out of the Western Conference. I love this team. Chris Paul looks to be more healthy than he did after that the violent hit he took in Game 1. I couldn't even believe he got up. And not to mention LeMickey. That was violent.
How is he still walking? I mean, that guy is just
he's a warrior.
He's a warrior. Yeah.
He's a warrior.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, wow. What, 6'8", 250, and he took that hit?
Unbelievable.
Wow. But, yeah. So I think the Suns are going to take Game 5 here without any Disney. I think LeMickey will do everything he can. LeBron, of course, LeMickey. He can do he's going to try and do everything he can. Good player still, but, in Phoenix, the Suns shoot the ball really well at home. And then it's going to be up to Game 6, an elimination game. Now let's see if LeMickey chokes.
I just don't think LeBron's producing enough offense in terms of scoring right now to carry that team without Anthony Davis, Disney.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at his past years with the Cavs when he's had success in the playoffs, outside of last season with the Lakers. But with the Cavs, he was putting up at least 30, 35 every single game. And then now he's going out there, he's touching 30, but he's just focusing on, distributing the ball way more than he has in the past in the playoffs. It's ridiculous. And I don't think he's going to be able to really make an impact on a winning team here without Disney. It's just I don't see anything happening. I think the Suns are going to roll in 6.
I definitely agree.
Yeah. And then we're taking a look here. Clippers, Dallas. Clippers making a little comeback in that series. They were down 2-0 to Doncic and the Mavericks. Last night, put on a good showing, blow out the Mavericks. What do you think, Chris? Joke or no?
I think the Clippers they'll get it done, but the West is really just wide open at this point, especially with the way the Lakers series is trending. If Phoenix can win there, and then you have a team like Utah, who was the best team in the league all year. We don't know about if they have enough talent though to win more series. Portland and Denver, I think, are the two. Is that series? I think whoever wins that series is probably getting knocked out in the next round. But other than that, Clippers, Suns, Jazz, Mavericks. I mean, I think any of those teams can win the West. And I think, Utah has an easier first-round series that might help them if they're going to get more rest, especially if the Clippers and the Suns are going to be playing longer series. So, yeah, I'm rolling with Utah. I've been on them all season. I think Donovan Mitchell's extremely underrated. They have a lot of great role players, and I think Utah will beat that random team that Luke talks about in the Western Conference Finals.
Don't make a mistake again here. You've already made a mistake by disrespecting my Phoenix Suns.
Yes, well.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to ride with Kawhi. The Claw. I think he'll end up coming through. Reminiscent of the Toronto days. But I can't get behind the Jazz, Chris. I can't do
that's
it.
fair. I could definitely see it. I was picking the Clippers too, and then I saw what they did in those first 2 games against Dallas, and they're just they're not tough at all.
No.
When they play defense, they play lockdown defense, and when they're shooting threes and they're going in, best three-point shooting team in the league. So
Sure. I mean, they're just like, I don't know. They're not like a mentally tough team to me. I don't know. Maybe they will win the West, though. It's wide open.
it's wide open, and then they'll probably have to face the Nets.
Give me the Bucks.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Too much star power in the Nets.
Yeah, I think the Nets. got
Bucks
this
are a good.
locked up.
Bucks are a good team, but
No.
it's just a tough series.
Yeah. All right, so moving on to the Stanley Cup playoff here. The Bruins.
That's right. The Bruins won round 1 in 5 games. How about that? Let's go. Didn't he pick the Capitals, Chris? Oh man, what a bad pick. What a bad pick. We are rolling right now after taking game 1, 2, and I have a lineup adjustment that Chris is going to love here for tonight's game. Craig Smith is out with the lower body injury. Can't get in the lineup tonight, pulling a Kasha. So that means every fan favorite Jake DeBrusk will slot in next to Taylor Hall, who's been absolutely exceptional, and David Krejci, David Pastrnak with a hat trick.
DeBrusk now is the best player on his line.
That's what it appears. That's what it appears. He has 2 playoff goals, two more than Krejci. So, but the Bruins are rolling right now. I expect a sweep in this series. I think the Islanders have nothing. They can't match the talent-wise the Bruins have out there. The Bruins are rolling right now. We'll see how it affects the lower lines tonight with Carson Kuhlman sliding in, my favorite player. But I was impressed. McAvoy somehow scored the other game. Very impressive. And Boston was buzzing for the game. I was in the city. I was there for the game. I was not in the TD Garden, unfortunately. As a loyal fan, I have to watch on the TV to make sure that I can see everything and not get distracted by fans. But great victory. Going around the NHL, we had Colorado blow out Vegas last night. I think Colorado will take that series. Tampa, Carolina. I picked Carolina in my original bracket, but Tampa's rolling right now. I'll take Tampa. And Toronto Habs game 7 tonight. That's definitely going to go to Montreal because the Maple Leafs do not know how to win playoff games. It is the funniest thing. They haven't won a playoff series since 2004, so that's unfortunate. But that's your NHL minute right there. Stanley Cup playoffs have been great so far.
Law of averages are in favor of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
The law of averages has been in their favor for a while. I think that's gone to we know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's more of a momentum thing now.
If Chris wants to comment, Chris, your guy Tuukka Rask has been playing really well. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, I actually have officially
He's due.
Yeah, I've actually officially picked the Bruins to win the championship.
There you go.
The way they played in the first round against the Islanders, I agree with Luke. This should be a sweep. The talent gap is it's through the roof in favor of the Bruins. And I'm looking at some of these other series here. My guy, Ron Brind'Amour for the Hurricanes.
Ron Brind'Amour, yes, coach of the year.
That was my original pick, and I think the Bruins will avoid them until the Cup final. That would be an electric champion. That would be an electric final. What would the other one? Winnipeg. Maybe Winnipeg wins that other one. Wins the North, and Colorado in the West. But yeah, so the only thing that scares me, bottom line, is Ron Brind'Amour's Carolina Hurricanes.
Colorado doesn't scare you. Colorado is insane.
Yeah,
Colorado.
Dude, Nathan McKinnon is a dog. I don't know if you saw any of that game last night, but they blasted Vegas last night.
What was it, 6-1?
7-1.
Actually, the Bruins would get Carolina in the next round if Winnipeg and Colorado won. So yeah, I mean, if they can get past
history though, we're 2-0 against Rod Brind'Amour in the playoffs, so that's going to help us.
Unfortunately, the law of averages is not in your favor.
The law of averages is not in our favor
in the playoffs. That is my guy. But I think the Bruins, they'll pull it out, and they'll beat one of those clown teams from out west that don't even care about hockey. Aside from the Sharks care about hockey, obviously.
Sharks fans are dedicated.
Yeah, I am not picking the Bruins.
Yeah, that's your NHL minute, right?
But sorry, Rask. You asked about Rask.
Yeah.
He will collapse, no doubt about it. Here at some point, they have to make sure they do not get late.
He's playing way too good to be.
Yeah, he's been way too good. He's definitely going to collapse at some point here.
And last one, I mean, your radio show is just thriving and straight out the loop with this Taylor Hall prediction right here. I mean, this is just sparked the team. Just unbelievable. We should be the GMs of the team.
Yes, just like you're going to be the GM of the Yankees.
That's right. I will be the GM of the Yankees in a few years.
Yes.
Correct.
So MLB straight out the loo was at Fenway for its first day out of COVID.
That's right. We were
Full
there.
capacity. Straight out the loo was there. We watched. The Red Sox take on
Ottavino.
Ottavino. Close the door on the Marlins. Good win for the Sox. Right now, not so good of a showing. They're losing 6-1 to the Astros.
The Astros are cheating. It's okay.
It's all right. They got the trash cans going, so, we'll get them next time. But Red Sox looking pretty solid right now. I believe they're a game out of first place on the Rays. Game and a half now. Rays, they're hot. They're hot. That's a hot team right there. You guys want to talk some AL East?
Yeah, listen, Chris, I'll start off before you get into your tantrum here. I think the Red Sox are in a solid position right here. I mean, they haven't been playing great recently. They've been a little inconsistent, but they got a tough schedule coming up here these next couple of weeks. We'll see what they do in these next couple of weeks and evaluate the team. I feel like once we get into June, I've been pretty happy with their performance so far in the field. Defensive, Devers and Dahlbeck are a disaster. Dahlbeck was feeling my wrath from the first base loge box after his second strikeout of the game in the fifth inning. He was feeling my wrath. I blocked him on social media too, because they now show at Fenway Park their social media handles on when they come up to bat. He was blocked because he's hitting below 200. He sucks. And Rafael Devers, I mean, this guy's immune to the baseball. It's unbelievable watching this guy field. Not impressed with him. He can hit at least. But, I'm pretty happy where this team is. The rest of the American League, like from the division winners down, seems a little weak, which I think is good for the Red Sox if they can make a couple moves. Bullpen, starting pitching, address it. Our hitting's pretty solid. Our hitting's pretty good right now. So, Chris, take it away.
I mean, I can't really complain. They keep winning series. I mean, I know the Rays are in front of them. And let me just go off on a little tangent here because
the law of averages are going to get them.
I am talking to people who have historically been haters of the Rays and continue to be wrong about the Rays, who are the best team in baseball right now. They do not lose baseball games at all.
The Padres
pitching staff, they have an elite pitching staff. They play great defense, timely hitting. I mean, this is just a complete baseball team. I've been saying it all year. They will probably win the division, unfortunately. But as for the Red Sox, you just got to keep winning series. They're not playing perfect baseball, but they took 2 out of 3 from Philadelphia. They took 2 for the Marlins. Didn't play the other game. They split with the Braves. I mean, they win series. I mean, you can't really ask for much more than that. I do have some concerns, however. The bottom of their lineup sucks. It's terrible. Renfro's been hitting the ball pretty well, but Dahlbeck sucks. Gonzalez is the worst hitter I've ever seen in my life.
And the franchise got sent down.
The franchise will be the next Rusney Castillo. He will shine.
Oh, my God. While Andrew Benintendi is raking with the Royals.
Danny Santana sucks. Vasquez can't hit right now.
Good defensive catcher, though. I'm not upset about the catcher.
No, he's fine. But, and they still don't have a leadoff hitter because Kike sucks.
Yeah.
As for the pitching, I mean, they got 5 solid starting pitchers. They don't have a frontline pitcher, but they have 5 solid starting pitchers, and you can't really complain about that.
Chris, you ready for this?
They should take a front. Go ahead.
What do you think Andrew Benintendi's batting average is in his last 30 games?
It's probably like 350.
It is 340 with an OBP at 390. Wow, Heim Bloom.
Good trade.
Yeah, really. I mean, listen, Franchy's like Gallo, though. He's Gallo.
He is Gallo.
He's Gallo. He's an all-star player. So.
If they can get Chris Sale back, they can, put him in the rotation. They get their frontline pitcher. They have 4 other solid starters. So I think that'll help a lot. But yeah, I mean, and the bullpen, they need help in the bullpen. But you can't complain. They keep winning series. You can't complain, no matter what the Rays do.
And Franchy's last 30 games is 167.
Pretty good.
But yeah, they keep winning. And the Giants.
The Giants
are rolling.
Yes, out west, the Giants just completed series win in a 4-game set against the Dodgers. Right now, they're rolling through the Los Angeles Angels. Kevin Gausman last night threw another gem. This guy's the Cy Young so far this season. I believe he's now 6-0 with a 1.4 ERA.
No,
I mean,
second. Flaherty.
This guy's putting up unreal numbers. This pitching staff's been great all year. There's not really a hole in the staff unless you want to point to Cueto, who was the number 1 coming into the season after Gausman. Maybe the number 1 even with Gausman.
Historically great pitcher.
So, you have Cueto as your odd man out in this rotation. I mean, that's just all good things right there. Lineup's been doing their job. Nobody's hitting for high average besides Posey, but Posey's having one of his best years. Donovan Solano's healthy again. Put him in the 2 spot. It's It's a great spot there. Longoria's been hitting the ball hard. Crawford's been hitting the ball hard. Belt's hurt right now. That's not great for the squad, but, you know, the offense has still been there, been able to get wins, been able to hit a lot of home runs. You know, they've had some fun while doing it. I'm hot on Kapler. You know, I did not like this guy after last year, but, you know, he's a real players guy. He seems to have the guys liking him a lot. He seems to have the guys liking each other a lot. The chemistry's all good there. The culture's good. You know, I think there'll be a wild card team. I think that the NL West will have 3 playoff teams this year, which is going to be pretty exciting to see. Hopefully, it would be pretty cool if they faced up against the Dodgers in that wild card game. That'd be pretty electric. But, you know, you heard it on Straight Out the Lou first. The Red Sox are playing the Giants in 2021 Fall Classic.
Well, that was simulated out, too, in MLB The Show earlier this year. So that's correct. Last thing here on MLB and for the episode here. Booney's hitters aren't looking like much savages in the batter's box right now. What do you think, Chris, about that? Unbelievable.
Yeah, they had a good series. They looked really good against the Tigers this weekend.
Judge has been swinging a hot one.
Yeah, I remember when the Yankees fans, I don't know, about a month and a half ago, were ragging on the Red Sox for taking 2 out of 3 from the Tigers, and they just got swept. So yeah. That's good stuff from the Yankees. Their offense sucks.
They need to fire Booney. They need to get him back on Sunday Night Baseball with Jessica Mendoza so I can listen to Booney break down the Red Sox pitching.
By the way, you said Dodgers-Giants. Imagine the 2 wildcard games are Red Sox, Yankees, Dodgers-Giants.
Oh, that would be sick.
The ratings would be through the roof.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
It'd be sweet. It'd be great for baseball. All right, well, that's a good episode right there.
Go
Bees. Get back on it next week. Go Bees tonight against the Islanders.
Bees in 4.
And it was good to see you guys all again. Thanks for tuning in. That was Straight Out the Lou.